as Iowa City hits negative temperatures. I'll tell you more in weather. All that and more coming up on this Friday morning edition of DITV News. Don't go anywhere. DITV News starts right now. Good morning and welcome back to DITV. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Ashley Wheel. As COVID-19 cases rise across the country, many universities have put in place precautions such as mask mandates, online classes, and student COVID-19 testing. The University of Iowa has made very little changes since last semester, and there are mixed student reactions. The University of Iowa Graduate Student Workers Union, or COGS, posted a graphic on their Instagram before classes started ranking the Big Ten universities on their COVID safety. In the chart, the university is ranked last compared to schools like Indiana and MSU, who have put in place mask and vaccine requirements, as well as contact tracing on their campus.
I mean, when we look at like our so-called like peer institutions in the Big Ten and what they're doing, like the University of Iowa is really an outlier in all ways. And I mean, just like really basic stuff, like if we're going to be continuing classes in person, like refusing to implement a mask mandate is like a huge thing.
Implemented this semester includes supplying KN95 masks inside buildings and having rapid COVID-19 testing kits. But there are pushes for the university to provide more to catch up to the university's Big Ten counterparts to better protect students and staff.
It's really hard to get reliable access to information about COVID. We're all hearing a lot of like really different things. In theory, it's like this institution's job to like do things that to provide that information and to provide rules that are supposed to, make sense and keep us all safe.
Hundreds of Iowa City community members have signed a letter to the Board of Regents asking for changes to the COVID-19 policies in the classroom. And University of Iowa Healthcare is feeling the heat from the Omicron variant of COVID-19. The demand for testing, COVID treatment, and healthcare for other sicknesses is overwhelming the hospitals. Mitigating infection and flattening the curve from the latest rise in cases is the top priority.
We have significant evidence that Omicron is much more easily transmitted amongst folks. And so what you see is a much higher rate of infection and far more people infected. And so even if a lower percentage are getting severe disease, the fact that so many more people are getting infected is resulting in an increase in hospitalization.
While Omicron is mild compared to other variants, it is much more contagious. This has contributed to many providers feeling overloaded. This quick spread means that many of the healthcare workers are contracting COVID or are having to leave work to care for an ill loved one. This is affecting people's ability to get the care that they need. UIHC is advising that everyone get vaccinated and boosted, and masking and following protocol to slow the spread is also strongly supported. And UIHC CEO Suresh Ganasekaran said,
"The choices that we're making as individuals are having repercussions, not just on people that are seeking COVID care, but on all of us."
University's healthcare stresses that making safe changes for the next 4 to 6 weeks will mean a healthy and smooth rest of the semester. And the University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics CEO Suresh Ganasekaran is stepping down. He is leaving to become the new president and CEO of Health at the University of California, San Francisco. Ganasekaran served as UIHC CEO for 3 years. He begins his new role March 1st and will officially step down from UIHC by the end of February. UIHC is currently looking for a temporary interim CEO. UI Vice President for Medical Affairs Brooks Jackson said, quote, "His performance here has really elevated us to a higher level in terms of our quality metrics and in terms of our dealing with COVID," end quote. He also expressed that it was a pleasure to work alongside him. The Iowa City City Council is planning on distributing funds to workers negatively affected by COVID-19. $1.5 million will go out to eligible adults through a lottery. The money comes from the American Rescue Plan Act funding. This would add to the $1,400 Johnson County residents received. To enter, Iowa City residents have to fill out an application. The Johnson County Board of Supervisors defines being negatively affected by by people who were laid off, evicted, or excluded from federal stimulus programs. The council still needs to vote on this plan before funds can be distributed. And the Old Capitol Mall is getting a new owner. The downtown Iowa City Center is already home to many campus programs like the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, as well as the Study Abroad offices. Currently, the UI owns 62% of the Old Capitol Town Center and will have the right to purchase the entire property in 2024. This purchase is part of the UI's 10-year facilities improvement plan. This plan also includes selling the Jefferson Building, modernizing the IMU, and upgrading athletic facilities. And winter finally made its way to Iowa City. Let's take a look at the forecast for today. We just finished a frigid first week of class, and it doesn't look like it'll be warming up anytime soon. Today we'll get up to 21 degrees with a low of 11 degrees. The high should stay in the upper 20s throughout the weekend with partly cloudy skies. We will get a nice break from the cold temperatures early next week with highs reaching the upper 30s on Monday and the sun coming out midweek. But temperatures will plummet by Tuesday and Wednesday with lows in the negative teens. Remember those hats and scarves, Hawkeyes, as you walk to class. And now that Hawkeye basketball season is underway, let's toss it to Ethan to see how these teams are stacking up.
Thanks, Ashley. The Iowa men's basketball team looks to bounce back after a tough loss against Rutgers Thursday night. The Hawks are set to face off with the Nittany Lions, who are ranked 9th in the Big Ten, while Iowa's right above them at 8. The Hawks continue to show improvements in their defense as they force 9 steals and 5 blocks against Rutgers, but the rebounding efforts are still costly. Sophomore forward Keegan Murray leads the team, averaging 23 points and 9 rebounds. You expect not only Keegan Murray, but Chris Murray as well to put in a show tomorrow. The Hawks are going in highly favored and have won 12 of their last 19 matchups against the Lions. The game is set to tip off at 3:30 at Carver with a sold-out crowd. The 16th-ranked Jimhawks are preparing for their Big Ten Conference opener against Michigan State tomorrow. The Jimhawks finished second in their tri-meet against Minnesota and UCLA this past Monday. Head coach Larissa Libby stated following the meet, quote, "It was an amazing feeling. I could not have asked for a better way to start. In the first 3 events, they did a really good job, but in the last event, maybe we got in our heads a little bit," end quote. Although Iowa did not finish on top, they're ready to flip into battle against the 15th-ranked Spartans tomorrow. Senior Lauren Guerin notably had a season-high 9.92 on the floor and tied the individual record. Sophomore Adlin Kenlin was the only Jimhawk to compete in the all-around and set a season-high of 38.825. Save today on Guerin and Kenlin's season highs on DailyIowan.com. The match begins at 6 p.m. Coming with 2 wins under their belt, the Iowa women's tennis team looks to extend their win streak today to 3 against Missouri. Freshman Marissa Schmidt enters her collegiate career 4-0, and sophomore Alexa Noel is currently ranked 3rd in national rankings. Noel's ranking is the highest in program history. The Hawks take the court at 5 p.m. at the Hawkeye Tennis Recreation Center. Come back next week for more coverage of men's and women's basketball, gymnastics, and wrestling. Back to you, Ashley.
Thanks, Ethan. And to round off the first show of the semester, we're going to meet our DITV Pet of the Week. This week's furry friend is Fergus. Fergus is DITV politics reporter Lauren Johnson's best furry friend. He enjoys sleeping in sunbeams, cuddling with his stuffed friends, and playing fetch. His favorite activity is going for long walks around the neighborhood. If you'd like to submit your furry friend to be Pet of the Week, email ditvvo@gmail.com with the subject DITV Pet of the Week. Make sure to add some fun facts and a picture with your furry friend. And thank you for tuning in to DITV News. Between Monday and Friday. We'll be back next Friday for another news and sports update. For DITV News, I'm Ashley Wheel.